Hi, this is Mahesh Kosuri. We are going to discuss of SAP Analytics Cloud basics. Here we are going to discuss of very important thing, that is date dimension. See, in any planning application or analytical application, you can take whatever existing applications for the planning and analytics. The date dimension or date table is very important, and it will play very important role in our all our reports. So here is also in analytics cloud also the date uh, dimension has some important, it has some importance. So let us see the importance of the date dimension and how do we customize this date dimension here. Okay, so here is my SAC order based planning model, and in previous videos I have shown you how to create the models, how do we create the dimensions and measures, how do we create all those things, and how do we load the transaction data load, master data loads, everything I have shown you, right? So here in previous videos itself I have explained you this date dimension is private to the model. It is always by default private, or you can say simply the local dimension. And here you see, if you look at here, there is no globe dimension. Sorry, there is a globe symbol. So it is private dimension. If you look at this variant, it is showing public dimension, right? Like that, we can identify which one is the private dimension and which one is the public dimension. Okay, already these two things we have discussed. Now let us see. Once I create the date dimension, what happens? Okay, before discussing of this one, let us compare this SAC system with one SAP planning tool, that is BPC. In business planning and consolidation, that is BPC system, there is a limitation that time type of dimension you cannot add more than once in BPC model. There are certain type of dimensions in the BPC system like account, category, time, entity, and intercompany group type of dimension, uh, I type of dimension, and report currency or currency type of dimension, data source dimension, and flow type of dimension. So there are certain limitations in that BPC model. So if once you select that particular type of dimension, then you cannot maintain the same type of dimension in the same model more than once other than user defined type dimension. User defined type dimension, there you can use more than once. The same kind of feature is here also. Let us see whether can we add one more date dimension in this model or not. That is the first thing we need to address. Is SSC system is following the same kind of structure in the BPC or any enhancement here? So here I'm creating the suppose date 2 I'm creating. Add new dimension table. I'm selecting the here date, make public. By default, you cannot select it as the public. As I said, date type of dimension is always private to this model. That is one important thing. And second thing is this date type of dimension you can add more than once in this SAC model. That's what. See, once I give the date and select the date, here it is showing date 2. Okay, you can add, it is telling. Let us add it. So it accepted, right? Here let us give the description. date 2, sorry, date 2 I have given. Just for reference only I have given, for understanding only I have given the date 2, okay? Because two date dimensions we are adding here. That's why I given the date 2, but I remove it later. Okay, once I given the date dimension here, the system as usual, it create one dimension table. Okay, once you go here, date dimension table, here you see the first line is unassigned node. Okay, and here you can see default booking behavior, book to unassigned. So there is a interrelation between these two options. Book to unassigned in the sense, whenever you are posting some data at the unassigned node, the value are at the distribution level. Generally, if you want to post some data to the unassigned also, you can post it. We discuss this topic when we start off discussing of the distribution or allocations. Okay, currently just remember that time dimension also will allow you to maintain the unassigned, or date dimension also will allow you to maintain the unassigned value here, calendar month. Okay, it is nothing but unassigned, and its month is this 00 characters. If you don't want to maintain any unassigned, just go to the distribute values, then the system will by itself will remove that value from the master data. This is one thing we need to remember. If you look at that, when you are working on the distribution values, that time if you notice that your values are posting against any unassigned time member, then you need to think of your date dimension. Somewhere you might have activated this default booking behavior. So you need to come to the date dimension and check it. And if you want it, that behavior you can keep, or else you need to change the booking behavior from here. And the second thing you must notice, we must notice that member management, system managed. This is one important thing for the date dimension. System managed here. This entire master data actually has been generated by the system as discussed in our previous videos. This is the system managed, and you can see here apply fiscal year settings. So based on your settings, based on your selection, the system will take the actuals or forecasting figures. If you want to expand your forecasting figures to the next 2 years, you can select, and past 1 year you can consider. If you want to consider as the actuals, take the 23. Or if you want to consider 2 years of actuals, you want to bring 2 years of actuals into your system, you can bring by selecting this year, so that the system will show you the and system will generate the master data. As this is the cloud system, it will generate the master data and it will generate the corresponding property values also here. These are all standard property values, system generated property values. These are all you can see here, and these are all system generated. And here you can see calendar month is the id column, and this is the format. This is the format. All the periods are in this format. There is no separation by using the period symbol. Okay, so this is the format we are using. That's fine. Now granularity level, you can see month level we are maintaining, or what is the granular month. You can do the planning based on the day or quarter or year or week. So these are all the things are here. But interesting thing is here, these all the settings are connected to the date settings in the model preferences. If it is the system managed date dimension, these settings are connected with date settings in the model preferences. So here you can see the date settings in the model level. You can see the date settings, week based date pattern. Currently it is switched off, right? This option is disabled. That is the reason here you are not seeing the granularity week level. It is showing only available when week settings are enabled in the model preferences. So these settings are connected with the model preferences. Then if you go here in the model preferences, go to the date settings, enable this one, then you can define your week pattern. Like week wise, do you want to do the planning? If you want to do the monthly wise, that's fine. If you want to do the planning based on the week wise also, then week pattern you can define from here. So generally the 52 weeks. So the system is the SAC system is classifying. I mean the classifying the week pattern like this mode. You want to maintain your weeks like 445 or 454 or 544, or just you want to distribute all the weeks in equal pattern like 13 into 4. This is how week pattern the system is defining. Now coming to the period name label, how do you want to display your periods? Month or period name label. You want to display the period number. If you go for the period number, the system will display like this. If you go with the prefix, you can define your own prefix. Instead of the P, you can define your own prefix. Currently, I'm going with the month as usual. So month wise, if you go, the system will show your months in this format. And fiscal settings, what is the starting month, what is the fiscal year, all these things you can define like this. Here date dimensions using fiscal year, two dimensions we are using in this model. One is the date and date 2, right? So which one will follow the fiscal year? Date. If this date follows fiscal year, then you need to define the fiscal settings. And if date 2 follows, then see here it enabled, right? Apply fiscal settings. Then you can define your fiscal settings. Once we start to work on the planning scenarios, then we can work on this. I will change the settings. I can show you the in the reporting how these values will work, how the settings will work in our reporting side. Okay, just remember that the date settings importance and important settings are there for the date settings, how our report will look like, and how we can do some analytical reports based on the date settings also. Okay, this is what the date dimension settings, but there are more things we need to discuss. And if you are having the more than one date dimension, then you can specify which date dimension will follow the fiscal year also. You can specify it. Now, okay, the system has specified some granularity here, and default hierarchy it is telling year, quarter, month, which default hierarchy you want to maintain, you can take it. Okay, so yeah, this is what dimension table, and here you can see there is no hierarchy. Okay, and it is telling only allowed for manually managed data dimensions. This is system managed. This is system managed dimension. That is the reason we cannot maintain any hierarchies. For every dimension table, actually we have seen like properties and some data access controls and hierarchy, all the settings we have seen. Right here it is not showing any kind of any those options here. Why? Because it is simply system managed. Can we change it to the user managed? Yes, of course, manual managed dimension, we can convert this dimension to. Here you see edit. If you go for edit, system is showing you want to maintain it as a system managed or user managed. But before converting this dimension to the user managed, we need to be cautious because once it converts to user managed, you cannot revert it to the system managed. That is one thing we need to keep in mind. Whether we really need to maintain this dimension sheet manually, or is it okay to maintain by the system itself? One disadvantage with the system managed, you cannot add your own properties. As I said, like here there is no option to add the properties, no option to add your own hierarchies. That is one disadvantage. Only advantage is just it has generated the required properties, and masters also it has generated, and just by simply changing your number here, by simply changing, system is pulling the required master data into the dimension sheet. See here, once I change the 2023, it has changed the values. Range it has been increased to 2023. So these are the advantages with the system managed, and the disadvantage is like you cannot maintain your own hierarchies and properties. So what I am doing here, I maintain the 23 here, okay, and you see that there is no hierarchy and there is no property also. Okay, now let us go back. I don't want to maintain this dimension. That is the reason I am deleting this dimension from my model. Just for understanding, I have created. See, this is the date dimension we have already. Okay, this date dimension I have converted. I have converted to the, oh, it's not converted. Okay, is it date dimension? Yeah, system managed. This is still system managed. Okay, this dimension is still system managed. Its value starting from 2023 month and quarter. Okay, now let us go and change to the user managed. This can only be done until the next save. Once you save it, you cannot undone. That's what it is telling, right? Select OK. Okay, I want to maintain my user managed dimension. I want to I want to convert this date dimension as the user managed. So I have converted. Once I convert this date dimension to the user managed, now you can see properties. There are system is showing all these columns as the properties. It converted all these columns. Rest of all the columns, it has converted to the properties of year, quarter, month period, week, day, and here it is showing hierarchies also. And one interesting thing you can notice here, all these hierarchies are level based hierarchy. You can see this is the level based, this is the level based, level based, level based. In my previous video, we have discussed of level based hierarchy. What is the level based hierarchy? It is just simply take the required dimensions and made one hierarchical structure from the dimension required properties, sorry, it will take the required properties and made one hierarchical structure within the dimension. So that's why we discussed of if the dimension has at least one property, then only you can create a level based hierarchy. If there are no properties, you cannot create a level based hierarchy. For every dimension, generally you will have two types of hierarchies. Either one you can maintain, either parent child hierarchy or the level based hierarchy you can maintain, but you cannot maintain the both type of hierarchies. So here you have these hierarchies, level based hierarchies. System has proposed these many hierarchies are there. Even you can go here, this hierarchy symbol on top of the top menu. If you click on it, it will show you what are the levels you have hierarchies. If you want to create a new hierarchy, you can create. This is the option you have, right? Currently, this is the default hierarchy. YQM is the default hierarchy. That's what here it is showing. YQM is the default hierarchy. This is we have seen already when we have created a date dimension system by default system generated hierarchy. It has shown like year, quarter, month hierarchy. But once you convert into the user defined, system has proposed many hierarchies in the sense whatever the properties are there. So those properties system has considered and created some of the required hierarchies here. You can consider one as the default. Currently, year, quarter, month is the default hierarchy. I can make it as this one also the hierarchy. Once I save this one, then the system will understand that this is my default hierarchy. In general, we follow YQM only. That's why I'm keeping as is. Now, let us so we know we cannot create a parent child hierarchy because we are already having the level based hierarchies here. Okay, let us go and see if we create a property, what happens. Is it regular property of other dimensions, or is it something else, or is it something different from the other property, other dimension properties? Let us see. Here it is showing something interesting, right? I will show you the difference. Let us see the difference. Okay, I will let me open the other session here. Here, let us go to some other dimension. Say, suppose variant customer or any private dimension also you can say. See, this is the property of any other dimension than the date dimension. Just you give the ID, description, test size. That's it for any other type of dimension. But when it comes to the date type of dimension, that to user managed date type of dimension, you see these many fields are there, these many things you need to define. Property, say suppose here beginning month I'm taking, or beginning period I will take, or yeah, beginning period I will take, description Also I'm taking beginning period. Semantic type, again you need to define what is its a semantic type. This is all related to the date type of dimension, so almost all the options are the date type of dimension related things only. And you have one generic also. Let us maintain the period. Okay, semantic type is period, I maintain. Data type is test. Of course, let us maintain the test. Linked description, I maintain currently the I'm leaving it as the blank. I have created one more property, beginning period. Why it is showing here? This is the semantic type I have selected, right? If you go here, period, semantic type is period. So this property is showing under the this semantic type. Here you can see these many semantic types. The your properties also have been classified or categorized by the semantic type. Generic, year, off year, quarter, month period, week, day. Like this, it has been classified. Even you create a property, you need to select which semantic it will we need to create. The same way, let me create one more period. It is ending period. Let us take it as also period and data type test. Okay, so two properties I have created. So this is your user manage date dimension. That's why we are able to create properties. What about the hierarchies? Hierarchies also you can create. Okay, but here we can see one interesting thing. First, let us save these two properties. Of course, we are in the model. Okay, whatever we create, those things by default will be saved. Okay, now let us see the hierarchies. Importance of the hierarchies here. Let me remove these hierarchies. I want to create one parent-child hierarchy. Okay, so to create a parent-child hierarchy, we should not have any level-based hierarchies. That's why here I'm deleting all the level-based hierarchies, and I will try to create one parent-child hierarchy. So once I delete all the hierarchy, system is showing level-based hierarchy option only. If I go here, it is showing only level-based hierarchies. I cannot create any parent-child hierarchy. So this is the limitation of the date dimension. You cannot create a parent-child hierarchy. You will have only level-based hierarchies for the user-defined dimension or user-managed dimension. So these are the things we need to keep in mind. Okay, and yeah, and let us see one more important uh, concept in the SAC date dimension. In my previous video, I have loaded data to this model from the flat file. But for this demo again, I have removed the facts from here. So we need to understand while loading the transaction data load, how do we load the date dimension members? Because here you see the date is like, I mean, period is like in this format 2023-01 like that, right? But always we use the period as either 2023-01.01 or 01.2023 dd, I mean mm dot for yy or yy dot like that we show the period format. But here the period is showing like this, whereas my data is coming with some other format, whereas my date format is coming in some other format. Here you can see this is the my date format, period format is coming in this format. But when I go to this dimension sheet, here is my period format. Something strange, something mismatch, right? But the system is, we are able to load the data of this transaction into my model, even though period format is different. We have seen in my previous videos. Let us see how it is happening. Okay, so again here I am loading the transaction data. I will quickly complete two steps. Go to the I think change is not there. Oh, hierarchies we have removed, that is the problem. Okay, let me maintain one hierarchy here first. Let us take here first. Here I am calling out period. Here I am defining the hierarchy. Calendar month, first I will take this one. This is the level 1. Then quarters I am taking level 2. Then here let us take level 3. That's fine. This is the YQ, not, yeah, YQM. YQM we have taken. Okay, let us complete this one. Let us save this model. Model is saved successfully. Then we go to the data management once again. Oh, let me remove this one. Here you go and select the flat file. It is my flat cs I mean dot excel file. From here I'm selecting the order volume actuals. Let us set up import process. Okay, as I did in the last previous video, I'm doing some transformations here. I'm doing the concatenation. Why? Because my target is having, I need two more columns for my target fields. So that's why I'm taking concatenation of these two columns. This is one. Let us validate. and I'm taking the duplicate for this entity. I'm renaming it as I'm renaming it as subregion subregion hierarchy. I want to use this column. Okay, so I have maintained two transformations here. You can see the transformation log also here. Okay, and now let us go to the next mapping. I am completing subregion. I am mapping entity subregion and order units to the order quantity. Data source, let us hard code. Let us fix the value, constant value I am passing. Brand region, entity I am passing. Date, here you see my source values are 2023-01, whereas date 2023-01 is in our date dimension, right? So this is how the system is understanding. Actually, if the values are mismatched or if the values are not available in our date dimension, it should throw an error. But here the system is understanding that this period is the valid period when it is comparing with target dimension. Here you go to the review settings. What is there? Okay, there is no column assigned to this date dimension. That's fine. Okay, but target dimension is this one. Date, granularity, month, value range. These values are there. Fiscal year currently disabled. So let me map. I have mapped this values. Okay, period to date I have mapped. Now let us see the review settings. Here you see the source column it is showing. Source column it is showing, okay, these values are like this. My data type is date. Map by date I maintain, and conversion format I am maintaining this one. Date format can be changed during the data preparation process. Actually my period is in this way, in this format. And if you go here, if you check this one, map by id, if you go to the map by id, then it is asking, do you want to maintain same as target dimension, or you want to maintain any other dimension format? Of course, we are not we are not maintaining like period format. We have not maintained like this in the date dimension. So here is the format settings you can define for the date dimension, and you can upload your date into whatever the required format you can upload. If I go with this one, my source format is not in this format, right? So that's why I'm keeping as is for now, and I'm changing it map by date, confirm it. As usual, we have done this already in our previous videos. Let us finish this one. Okay, we have successfully imported this data. Okay, another one more important thing is you can maintain your as we discussed, you can maintain your date dimension if it is the user managed. Go to this dimension table. You can change your date format. I mean this ID format like mm year dot year also you can maintain. Then you can import so that you will see the period in the required format. Okay, so this is how we manage our date dimension in the SAC. Thank you for watching. Bye.